They'd been involved in rescuing 2 Europeans who've since been handed over to the Dutch embassy in Tripoli. Well, Hoda Abdelhamid is in the eastern opposition-held city of Benghazi. She says that the protesters are watching the international community's moves very closely.
The move of the ICC is certainly a move that is welcomed here on the streets of Benghazi. Some people have said it's long overdue, and they have been pointing out really not only at the killings that happened over the past 2 weeks or so, but of a series of what they call massacres of the Libyan people over the past 42 years. Still, people say that if the international community really wants to provide safety for the Libyans, then the first thing it should do is pass a resolution which would pave the way for the imposition of no-fly zones. That's because they say it will impede the government from carrying out airstrike, which the government is still carrying out, and also it will make it difficult for the government to bring in mercenaries from Africa. The National Council here in Benghazi having clearly said that those mercenaries come from Chad, Mali, Niger, and they said that those mercenaries have become now a backbone of the Gaddafi defense forces.
Well, that's a view from our correspondent in the east of the country. Let's take you now to the west of the country. Adel Zandani is part of the opposition movement in the western tribal city of Zentan, and he's on the line with us now. Thanks for being with us. Before we get into our discussion to talk about a possible future for Libya or what might happen in the future, what's the situation there now where you are?
Yes, hi, how are you doing today? And I appreciate AlJazeera standing and supporting our revolution here. And I just want to let you know about our side in the West Mountain area, which starts from Garian to Nalut and Gadames. Everything now is quiet. It's been quiet for 2 nights. It just captured some African citizens as over 60 or 70. After we received some news from AlJazeera, people, they say they found some army's clothes and some weapons just thrown in one of the forests there. I think what Gaddafi is trying to do now, he's trying to send back most of the African people who's been fighting with him, but we still investigate all that with our army committee and lawyers and some of our judges here in Zentan City.
So let me ask you
Yesterday, Gaddafi's regime started kidnapping random of Zentanis on ID ground basis. Until now, we have about 40 persons missing from Tripoli, and we received 2 army people. One of them is colonel, and the other one is working with the Libyan army. They killed them and threw them in the desert.
So it's a pretty bad line between us here. I don't know whether you can hear me, but I want to ask you about a possible future for Libya without Gaddafi. Is there any unity between the various disparate opposition groups in the country? Any coherent plan for the future for Libya if you succeed in getting him to go?
Yes, until now we are communicate with the east side of Libya, which is in Benghazi, and the committee there. We have good connection with most of the cities in the west side, and all of them they agreed that and each city it has their own committee, which has helped us out in the future to prepare for transfer government until we finish our election and start our new democratic and civilian government in Libya. As we know, most of the cities in Libya, and we have lots of people, they have very good knowledge of the democratic and election system everywhere in Libya. So that's our plan after we kick out this bastard. Sorry about this word, but he's big bastard because he's killing all civilian and all our brothers in all cities. Our plan for most of the cities, as we know here in the west side, we have a meeting last 2 days with most of the cities in the West Mount. And all of them, they are agree, and they are in support for East Side new committee, and the minister, Mr. Mustafa AlJazeera in Benghazi.
Okay, sir, thank you very much indeed. Adel Santani, an opposition leader in the western tribal city of Zentan. Well, the International Criminal Court at The Hague has made Muammar Gaddafi a wanted man. The court's prosecutor says that his associates will also be investigated for war crimes.
We identify some individuals with de facto or formal authority who have authority on the security forces who allegedly committed the crimes. They are Muammar al-Gaddafi, his inner circle, including some of his sons, who had de facto authority. But also, there are people with some formal authority that should pay attention to the crimes committed by their people.
Well, there's growing pressure to intervene against Gaddafi on moral and humanitarian grounds, but it seems that the international community can't make up its mind about what exactly to do. Many fear that military intervention could expose Libya to an infiltration by Al-Qaeda. Al-Jazeera's Lawrence Lee explains.
Muammar Gaddafi says a lot of things, but he says one thing consistently. In every speech he's given since this crisis began, he's claimed the insurgency is being led by Al-Qaeda, and they're all over the country.
These dormant cells of Al-Qaeda, very few groups in Darna, others in Tobruk, others in Benghazi, a cell in AlJazeera, possibly, Misrata, certain operatives infiltrated from outside and settled in these areas.
Repeatedly, insurgents have denied this. Up until now, it also appears the outside world doesn't believe Gaddafi. After all, why would a country like Britain say it's prepared to consider arming the insurgency if they thought that it might contain Al-Qaeda elements?
I do think it's the job of leaders in the Western world in particular to prepare for all eventualities and all the things that might happen, particularly if Colonel Gaddafi unleashes more things on his own people.
Why would there still be a discussion in Washington about airstrikes or no-fly zones against Gaddafi if it helped Al-Qaeda come to power?
They do need the tools to prevent the slaughter of innocents on Libyan streets. And I believe that the global community cannot be on the sidelines while airplanes are allowed to bomb and strafe.
Here's the difficulty for the West, though. Even if Gaddafi's wrong, the West firmly believes Al-Qaeda